In this help video, I'd like to go over how to use the entry, profit target and stop outputs from our MTPredictor Bloodhound indicator to use in Bloodhound for trade entry. If I click on order settings here, we're in Blackbird already. So if I click on order settings, I'll just go over one I've set up here already. Again, you can use this with a Bloodhound signal or not. So if you didn't want to use Bloodhound signals, you wanted to do totally manual trading with Blackbird, that's absolutely fine. You can set it up to do that if you wish as well. Right, for the entry, let's just click on the three dots. So this is how you should set up the entry. I've just given it a name of entry, but you can decide what you want there. Type, here I've set it to enable automatic order selection, so it will actually place an order as either as a stop or a limit. In other words, if the market hasn't reached your entry level, it will place it as a stop, so the market goes through your entry level, or if it is beyond it, it will place it as a limit order, the idea being that if the market then retraces back to your entry level, it will then trigger the limit order. So the initial placement is where you need to do the drop down selection. So here, the initial placement. So click on the down arrow. So for this, you need to select an indicator value. So here we don't do price, we select indicator value. The indicator we want to use is MTPredictor analysis for Bloodhound. So click on the down arrow, come to the MTPredictor section, do MTPredictor analysis for Bloodhound, and if you come down here, can you see I've ticked the entry prices. So these are added in our latest build for our MTPredictor Bloodhound indicators. So select entry prices for both long and short. Offset, you see underneath the bottom bit here, we have the offset as 0. So make sure you leave the offset as 0, so that takes the actual MTPredictor levels. Click on that. I normally place it immediately because you want to have the level put in there immediately, and then you can decide if you want to cancel after a number of bars as well. I personally use 2, but you can use whatever you wish as well. So that's the entry level. For the profit target, again, we want to do it as, I've just put a name in as profit target. You can put any name you wish. So the initial placement, use the drop down arrow, select mode, we want to have an indicator value. The indicator we want to use is the MTP analysis for Bloodhound. When you come down, can you see here, there's the target prices. Do you see that? So select target prices for long and short. Well, shouldn't have clicked off that before. I just showed you that for the offset, again, you had the offset at 0 because that takes the actual levels from our indicator. And then something very similar for our stop. I've just given it a name as stop. The initial placement, we come down and again we use the indicator value. The indicator we want is MTP analysis for Bloodhound, and the things you want to tick are stop loss prices. So for long and short, the stop loss prices. Similar kind of thing. Offset, we leave the offset at 0. We do OK. I haven't put any trailing actions in the stop. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could put trailing actions in. This is one of the main advantages of Bloodhound. You can add as many trailing rules as you wish. You then either save as, give it a name, or save it, or I'm just going to save and close, and that will then be available for you. One thing you need to understand is that it will populate the entry and stop levels and profit target levels on the last setup on the chart, and this can be continually changing. So this is important to understand. Is, for example, if you wanted to place an analysis back here with our normal MTPredictor analysis tool, this won't be the levels that are used by Bloodhound. It will use the last ones that are calculated in the indicator value, and that will change from bar to bar to bar. If I go to dynamic planning, and let's just try this. I'm going to plan short, and here you can see it's come in at very odd levels. So these levels don't make any sense at all. So it means that the indicator values that it's taking are from a previous setup that it's found here. So that's why you have to only do this on the last setup that's unfolded. Obviously there's no setup unfolded here as well. So I'll just take that off. What I'll do is I'll pause the video and then come back to this when we have actually had an MTPredictor setup come in on the chart here, so then I can show you exactly what it finds and how to use it. But the first part of this video is literally just to show you on the settings is how you can use the MTPredictor analysis for bloodhound levels as an indicator value for your initial placement for the entry, the profit target and the stop. Okay, now we have a MTPredictor set up on the chart. I can show you how these orders levels come in now. So I'm going to use the dynamic planning here, and if I click on plan long, can you see this now gives you a sensible entry, stop and target. If I hover over this and place our MTPredictor analysis on, can you see how now it gives you the levels at the MTPredictor levels. So there's your buy order at our MTPredictor level, and our stop at our stop level, and our profit target at our profit target level. Obviously this trade can't be taken because it's greater than a 2% risk on a sample $20,000 account. But it does show how the levels come in at our MTPredictor levels. One thing I didn't mention at the start of the video was the position sizing. So if I go back to the order settings and click on money management, one thing you also need to do is set up what they call trade fit. So here you put in your account size, whatever your account size is, and your risk per trade. So in this case 2% of our sample $20,000 account. What that means is when it does the order in Blackbird, it will then do the position sizing as well. Remember to save it, save and close. And obviously this isn't a good example because our account size is too big. Let's try changing it to a bigger account size, and there you go. There's your 4 contracts for like a massive $99,000 account. So what happens is if I now go long, what it'll do is place the order, and it can't do because again that's less than 2% of a sample $20,000 account. So do you see how it can't do it? Because I'll put $20,000 in the account size. So if I did want to change that and change this to 100,000, do save and exit. Now if I do go long,
order submitted.
There it is, you see it buys 4. So it's now a limit order because the market is above your level. So our MTPredictor position sizing is 4. Blackbird has then done the position sizing as well. I'm just going to close that to cancel that out. So that's why you need to make sure that under the order settings to do your position sizing, you come down to money management, put your account size in and do your risk per trade as well, and then that will do your position sizing. But hopefully this has been a good video to show you how to do the MTPredictor entry, profit target and stop in Blackbird. So when you place your MTPredictor analysis on, when you do your orders in Blackbird, the stop, the entry level, the stop and your target price are at your MTPredictor levels. And obviously what you can do is you can obviously then, if you wanted to change the profit target, you can. If you want to change the stop level, you can. These are all adjustable within Blackbird, but it gives you an initial placement to place these at where our MTPredictor levels are initially. But again, I must stress, let's just clear our MTPredictor analysis off. I must stress that these levels are taken off the last MTPredictor setup on your chart. So this will change from bar to bar. So as the chart moves forward, each bar will calculate a new value based on the last MTPredictor trade setup found. So that's why sometimes it can be confusing, and as how we saw earlier in the video, that the levels that it came up as didn't seem to make sense. It didn't do that because it was calculating off some setup that it found further back here in time. So it only makes sense when you've got an MTPredictor setup on your chart and then you want to place the trades pretty much immediately after the MTPredictor setup has arrived, which is what you want to do in your normal trading anyway.